Hello and welcome to the shed. So this video is primarily about tidying up the TJ, but firstly, thanks to everyone following the channel. We have just hit the magical mark of 1,000 and that means a lot. So anyway, stick around. We're going to be doing some work, some overdue work on the TJ, and just if it gives anyone ideas what we do, how we do it, yeah, that's what it's all about. Stick around. The mighty TJ. So I've had it just on 5 years now and it hasn't missed a beat. It's been rock solid and a lot of fun. Probably the most favourite vehicle of the fleet is this machine. Basically still stock standard apart from a GQ front end that I stitched in there probably about 2 years ago. Got a wee bit sick and tired of fixing the wee Dana 30, which are incredibly small for something of this sort of standard. When you're pushing 200 horsepower and that, they just don't like it, especially with the big tyres. So this is still pretty much as I bought it 5 years ago. The previous owner did the bar work on it, which I'm now taking off and just sort of revamping it a bit. It is a factory hardtop. So a factory hardtop that's been cut down, or cut in half basically, to form a sort of a truck cab. But the rear of it has always been open. He had a cross frame in the back, and I had just put a bit of a canvas tarp over the back to keep the weather out. But always wanted to finish it properly as a proper ute type truck cab. So I have stripped her out and made up a frame. That will be the new rear wall. That will get covered in 3mm alloy and a window put in the back. So it'll be fully sealed, and that will make a fully sealed cabin for the two of us. Now I'm pulling out the factory Jeep roll bar and seatbelt system is coming out, and the new wall is going to be just that wee bit further back. So that's going to give us a bit of room behind the seats to store some luggage and stuff that we've never really had before. So we get out on day trips and tracks and whatnot, and you're always struggling to find places to put your gear. We do usually run a lockable box on the back, one of these sealed units, but you know, you're still limited to space. So yeah, always been keen on the Jeeps, always admired them. This is my second one. We've also had a JK, although it sadly got written off. Long story. So the guards had originally had just the plastic flares. So acquired the rear ones and I custom made the front ones. That is some of my work. And the bead locks, they are made by myself as well. Welded the rings in on some factory old school rims that we found. So yeah, so just a wee workshop update on what's happening on the TJ. That's the winch mount. Some of you will know we have the rear mount winch and the tube that takes the rope up through to the front. So yeah, I'll keep updating this as we go. So other things that are happening in the workshop here are the little LJ50 is getting a transplant shortly. So currently running an F8 motor, and we're going to put an F10 in it just to help with the open road speed. And it will also get a 5-speed gearbox. So we've been painting up some bits and pieces for it. So this is a 413 5-speed. I'm just waiting on a 410, the later model 410 4-speed, which comes with the I'll start again. So that's a 4-speed gearbox off an F8. So that bell housing shape is the same as an F10. So the later F10 gearboxes have the same gearbox housing as the 413. Different bell housing, but the same gearbox housing. So what we're doing, and I found one, I've got the late model 410 4-speed, which will have that bell housing and that gearbox. So what's going to happen is the 5-speed gearbox from the 413 is going to go into the 410, later 410 housing. That's coming up, and it'll be great to have the wee LJ up and running and get out on some trips. Another addition to the wee F10 build is a brand new head. So the camshaft, originally when I stripped the first motor, the camshaft went away to get a grind, just to help with some top end revs and power. Unfortunately, it had a rather worn cam journal on one end. So I stripped another two motors, another two F8 motors that we had, and they were both worn in the cam journals as well. So I've gone out on a limb here and dabbled in AliExpress, and we purchased a brand new complete F10 head. So this is going to be another neat wee build that's coming up, and we'll share that on the channel as well shortly. So a wee progress report. I've stripped out all the Jeep bar work, the factory Jeep roll frame, and all the original bar work that was on this thing, the sliders. I'll show you around. I'm just going to do progress updates on what I'm doing. I don't film welding and grinding and drilling. I used to do that for a living. That's boring stuff to watch. Just simple updates is all we need here. So the new roll frame is in, which is also the back wall of the Jeep. So I've tied it into the mounts that were attached to the big Jeep roll frame in here. And with that gone, it's also given me a lot of extra room to get in and around behind the seat, to throw gear in here. It's going to be great. Plus this is further back too, so I'm going to be able to have a nice shelf in here for the gear. Plenty of bolts through the floor. This me rope tube for the winch. It goes up through the front. So we made provisions to hold that in the frame at the back. We've incorporated part of the factory bar work there, so that used to go and tie into the Jeep frame. I had to make a little extension, and now it ties into this frame, so it's all welded up solid. Looks good. So there we have it. So today's job was to finish these rock sliders, sills, whatever. So that's some 75 by 40 by 4 box on some 100 by 6 flat plate. So these things don't have a sill as such, but just a nice bit of flat bodywork to bolt to. And then inside we have a plate. You can see the other side there, we have a plate under the door which is bolted right through, so it's sandwiched nice and strong. So these are now attached to the guards. There's a bracket underneath that's bolted through. I want the front guards to be removable, just for maintenance of the engine bar if I ever have to. And these, this is going to be welded solid here onto the rear guards, and that'll all be incorporated with some of the bar work. So the next stage is to carry on with the external bars. So there'll be a hoop, it'll come up from here, across the top, which will protect the fiberglass roof, down the front of the windscreen, and we'll use these brackets that were originally here, and then it will come down and tie back into this solid box section down here. So that's it for now. Take you around and show you that's the frame there, and I'll carry on fitting and welding and grinding, and we'll give you another wee update shortly. And we're back again. So time for another update on progress. As you can see, there's some new bars in here. Let's have a look. So what we've done is got it all ready to weld and paint. So what's happening now, this will all come off. It's bolted here for a bracket. That's a weld. Main frame's bolted through here. That's a weld. Those brackets are bolted, and so that will be a weld there as well. So there's three welds on each side and a few bolts, and it'll be back on. So the bars now are in front of the screen, whereas before they were flush, if not slightly behind. And the top one is in front of the radius, whereas before it was actually behind. So these protect from trees and that, branches, whatnot, forward motion. Whereas before it never had that. Also before, we never had a bar here. So this will protect the back corner of the cab. So as you can see, we've got the big alloy wall in there, windows cut out, and we've got a template away getting a bit of glass cut. Up on the top, we've got the structural cross. We've never had that before, so I always wanted that in there. Just ties each side in together and a bit more strength. Hopefully don't ever want to see it on its lid, but it'll probably stop that fiberglass from breaking. So there, so that's the latest progress update. So next you will see the frame fully painted and welded on, and we'll be attacking a few of the extra pieces to put the puzzle back together. I'm just in the throes of making a mount for the high lift. I'm thinking I'm going to sit it on here, out of the way. As long as it's not too high for vision out of the screen, we'll be right. So there we have it. The next week progress update. So there's the framework, painted, ready to go back on. The back wall frame is bolted into place, and I'm about to rivet and seal Sikaflex, seal and rivet the old hard lid against the frame, and that'll make it watertight and sturdy. I have a couple of patches to make in the top here where old mate welded some bar work to the Jeep frame. Made a bit of a big ugly hole, but I'll roll up a wee bit of alloy and glue those on, paint them black. Sitting under the bar on the side there won't be quite so noticeable, so we'll get that tidied up. Onwards and upwards. Those are my new mounts for the high lift jack. Couple of these are 14mm bolts, so I'll make up a couple of 14mm wing nuts. That'll hold that down pretty secure. So as I'm riveting this on and sealing it, there's a gap there, just part of the body shape. So I'm going to put a piece of alloy on there so to pull it into and seal it up. So it's just going to pull in solid. So I've got something to show you. Right, here's a wee hack for you. Some of my friends, some of you people will know that I've done a number of years in the heavy traffic industry and the fabrication. Over that time I've built a lot of alloy bins and a heap of alloy work as such. So cutting and grinding alloy, we used to use for lube, and to stop your discs from clogging up, we used to use product called Bow Lube. It's pretty good, expensive though, and I hear a lot of people just use ordinary wax. I've tried it, it's okay, but here at home at the moment I am using, and you'll laugh, so this is an old scented candle, or what's left of one. So the wick in this one failed, and Georgina was throwing it out. So I thought, well, it's a great big lump of wax, I'll try it for cutting alloy. And it's actually the best thing I've ever used, because it's a scented wax. It's obviously got other stuff in it, and it seems to be really sticky. So it also sticks well to your discs and that. So when you're using a cut-off disc, just dedicate it for alloy and just put it aside when you're not using it. But yeah, they last forever, and it really helps them mow through the alloy. And a couple of more days have passed. Progress has been made. The roll frame, exo cage, however you want to call it, is finished. At the back. Right. It's all welded on. There's plenty of boogers there. It's not going anywhere, so it's fully welded to these sills, sliders, whatever you want to call it. It's fully welded to the window frame brackets, and we've welded it to the rear guard. So we cut a section of the panel steel out and put in some 4mm plate with some plug welds into the tube underneath, so that's nice and solid, and that bracket's just bolted in the back of the tub. So progress in the back here, the fuel system's back in. So that's a 40 litre tank that I made myself, running the factory fuel pump and pickup inside. Because of the height of it, I extended the bottom into that wee well in the bottom there, and run an adjustable regulator, which I turn up a wee bit, but a little bit more fuel pressure, keeps the oil going good. Yeah, that's done. So next thing is to fit the radiator in here. So the radiator's coming out of the front and going in the back, and the reason for is to get it out of the mud. So it's going to leave a lot of real estate in there, which I have plans for a couple of things going in there. But the radiator, and you'll see why they are best in the back for these off-road wagons. So that's the fan. We converted it to electric fan some time ago. Although the truck did get a quick wash when we got home and out on the track, you can never really wash properly inside with fan shrouds. And so the radiator inside the fan shroud is absolutely chocker. It's just hard to get a hose in there and clean them out properly. And that's the mud that sits down in the bottom of the shroud. So having the radiator up on the back, out of the mud, basically maintenance free. It's going to be great. So we're pressing on with that and get it all plumbed up. So we have stainless tubes underneath, rubber hoses. I'll keep you updated on that. All right, so the radiator is mounted. It's not exactly where I want it, but I've made a simple alloy bar from side to side out of a heavy wall tube, and that way I can simply lift that radiator up as I need to. The batteries, I really want the batteries to sit underneath it at this stage. The rope used to run between the two batteries, and it'll do the same. It comes out of the hole there onto the drum, and it goes side to side as it's winding on, so I need this clearance. But we're working with this because there's two pipes to come up yet and hook on the radiator. But we're nutting that out as we go. But anyway, back on the alloy fabrication. At the moment I'm low on argon. I need to save a bit to weld up these stainless tubes for the pipes for the radiator. So I've just welded this up with the MIG. And yes, most of your MIGs will weld alloy without a problem. This wee chap here, 200 amp Chinese machine I bought 15 or so years ago, bought it on a budget to build the staircase for the house we're in. It's done a lot of work since, built trailers, lots of steel fabrication around here for bits and pieces, including this. So yeah, welding alloy with the MIG, using pure argon of course, and the secret is to swap out for a Teflon liner. Only takes a couple of minutes to change those, and to use a heavier grade alloy wire. So this is 1.2 mil, Also, when you're using the MIG, keep your hose and your handpiece, your hose as straight as possible without too many kinks, and that way the wire will run a lot smoother and not bind up on the rollers. So it doesn't take much to play with the settings and tune the MIG in for welding a bit of alloy. Just give it a go. Plenty of heat, plenty of penetration, and yeah, the average MIG will weld alloy just fine. So I'm just going to finish off this video with another wee update on the LJ50. The late model 410 gearbox has just arrived. So as you can see, these are the same in the gearbox housing, but they are different in the bell housing. So the internals of this one, being a 5-speed, it's going to go inside this one, the 4-speed. And that should make a big difference for road cruising in the wee LJ50. And also the camshaft has returned with its fresh grind from Auckland Cams. It's nothing outrageous, basically a step up from factory, just to help it with a wee bit of top end power for open road cruising on the hills, etc. So that'll do for now. I'll carry on the Jeep, get some few more jobs finished up on it, and do another video a wee bit later of all the rest of the stuff. I'm getting it ready for a coast trip coming up in a few weeks, so that'll be great. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned for the next video. Cheers.